What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ICNV Drives Edition, and today you saw it and I had to share it with you. I'm starting to question the reliability of the Santa Fe. Now, it hasn't physically broken down on me, and it could possibly be something else simple, but overall the check engine light is on the Santa Fe. So I guess I can say I'm a little concerned. Mainly I'm concerned because the car, as you see, only has 14,250 some odd miles on it, and it's been serviced as it's supposed to be. And the only real problem we've actually had is cold weather. Yes, the temperatures have gotten down to like -9 overnight, and as you see, it was a -4 this morning. And when I started the car up, let it do its thing, the check engine light came on shortly afterwards, and it's been on ever since. So let's talk about, or let's dive into the real problem behind the Santa Fe and its check engine light. So we're gonna take it over to Hyundai and see what they say, because now I'm starting to get a little concerned. We've already heard about the C8 Eray and its battery situation in cold weather. Is the hybrid car really built for the cold? Let's talk about it. Because I was actually read in one of my DMs, a subscriber reached out to me and asked me had I saved the information about the E-Ray and the batteries, and I was like, what are you talking about? So they sent me a quick link, so I actually checked up on this information, and the first place I saw it was from a friend over at the Great White North, and that is Corvette E-Ray batteries does not start in stealth mode below 50 degrees. So real quick, for everybody that's tuned in, my name is Show. This is ICNV Drives Edition, and this is a Corvette enthusiast channel as well as a car enthusiast channel, which means you get a lot of Corvette content right now because I own a Corvette C8 and I love my car. But at the same point in time, I'm not just a Corvette guy. I like other cars as well, and we can talk about any car that you would like to talk about that's on the market. But at this point in time right now, I'm talking about the new 2024 Corvette E-Ray. And what was brought to my attention and was actually found inside the handbook or the owner's manual for the Corvette E-Ray is there is a disclaimer that states when the weather temperatures are below 50 degrees, the car will not operate in stealth mode. And the reason why the car will not operate in stealth mode is based on the design of the battery. Now, it will still have normal hybrid functions, which means that it will switch back and forth between the engine and the electric motor and give electric motor assist when it can. But overall, starting the vehicle, you will not be able to access stealth mode, which means you will not be able to start the car quietly and leave your neighborhood or wherever you're parked without making some form of noise from the engine. Don't forget to sign up if you're in the Chicagoland area for the ICNV Drives Edition bowling event, as we call it, switching lanes, going from your car to the bowling lanes to have some fun. I guess in January, which is usually typically one of the coldest months of the year. So if you want to get out, have some fun, hang out with me, a couple other, people from the crew, bowl, talk, joke, talk about cars, whatever. We're having a bowling event called the ICNV Drives Edition Switching Lane Bowling Event. You can check it out on our website, www.icnvde.com. Sign up, come out, have some fun. We're going to have some prizes, games, raffles. We're doing a lot. We're going to make this a good time. I guess part of the reason I'll be talking about this is because, is that really a deal breaker? And for me, I would say no if I was to get an E-Ray. But I know there's a lot of people who actually bought into this hybrid technology and the factor that they can drive so far on electric battery power and all this. And to me, I'm not going to say it's a gimmick, but considering you really can't get 100 miles on the electric battery, I don't feel like the electric battery driving in stealth mode is really that big of a deal. Or should I say, not being able to drive in stealth mode is really that big of a deal. Most Corvette owners, including all of us who own base Corvette C8s, we can't go to a stealth mode anyway. So in essence, you're just telling us that the car is doing what a normal Corvette does. So I was actually surprised to see a lot of comments on Facebook where people are feeling like outraged or betrayed, or like they were lied to about what this vehicle can do, because that disclaimer was not something thrown in the headlights by GM. And realistically, if the car still goes in hybrid mode and performs with the front electric motors and so forth, I don't really see where you're lacking at, because you're still getting the all-wheel driving system. I don't know many people at all that's going to be out launching Corvettes. And I say launching Corvettes because to me that's where the big advantage comes from this electric motor assist in the wintertime. I mean, truthfully, I've had my Corvette for 3 years. I probably launched it the most the first year, which probably was about 30 times. And since then, I probably have launched it less than a third of that in the past 2 years. So, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me and my, how can I say it, my take on this, but I don't feel like it's a necessary thing, or by not having it, it's going to deter me from buying a Corvette C8. But I don't know. Tell me in the comments below, do you feel like this information coming to the forefront is going to deter you from now buying the Corvette C8 E-Ray? Because to me, most people are buying the E-Ray for the wide body stance. They want the wide body look of the C8 Z06. They want an alternative to paying all of the money that a C8 Z06 brings, especially with the, how can I say it, dealer markups. And I know there are going to be some people saying you can get a C8 Z06 right now for MSRP. That isn't 100% accurate, but yes, you can if you were on a list of dealers that will sell at MSRP. But this whole belief system about all of a sudden now every dealer is selling at MSRP isn't a true statement. And if you want to get into that, let me know in the comments below, and I will definitely make a video talking about the true value and price of purchasing a C8 Z06 in today's market. If that's a conversation you want to have, let me know. So let's talk about what we learned. With the Santa Fe, as I stated before, the engine light came on. When I actually took the car to the dealership, the engine light went off. When they took a quick look at it, they could not find any error codes or anything wrong with the car. So I'm guessing the cold weather somehow, in some way, shape, or form, maybe dealing with the batteries charge and so forth, but it triggered an engine code. And it went away after letting the car run and drive it because I ran my errand. Then I took the car to get checked out at the dealership. So it is what it is. But now, after actually driving the hybrid, there are a lot of key factors, or should I say similarities, that was brought up with the Corvette C8 E-Ray. On the hybrid, I just really realized that in extreme cold weather, this weather has been, let's just say, no higher than 3 degrees today, and it's been hanging somewhere around below 4. The whole, I would say, incognito or all electric driving taking off doesn't exist. So there's a slight delay when you step on the gas because the electric motor isn't delivering instantaneous torque. The actual engine is moving the car, so there's a slight delay. Also, what I noticed is the hybrid function does work. And what do I mean by the hybrid function does work is that the electric mode or the electric assist does exist, and it will go all electric when you're driving, meaning that the engine will stop moving and you will get motion or driving controls with nothing but battery power. But starting out in all battery power, that goes away. Also, the biggest factor which I noticed is I've lost 100 miles of range, and I'm wondering, is that the fact that the car no longer starts out completely in all electric mode? So now, instead of filling up on a full tank of gas and getting 570 plus miles to a tank, I'm actually averaging somewhere right around 467. Also, the gas mileage has went down because there's less electric only mode being utilized. I utilize more gas engine only mode than I do actual electric assist and all electric. So that plays a factor. So overall, in the wintertime, the hybrid functions are not obsolete, but they're less utilized by the system. So when it comes to the Corvette Eray, I really believe that you're not getting a bad car, you're just getting a base Corvette in the winter time. So a lot of the hype, or should I say, a lot of the bragging and boasting about being able to have all-wheel drive and stealth mode, well, that's true. You will probably get the all-wheel drive functions when you drive the Corvette, but you probably won't see the stealth mode that often in the wintertime or in extremely cold conditions. So does not having these functions really become a deal breaker for you? As I can say, owning my hybrid, I'm not mad. I just now know what to expect in the colder months. And I think that's the factor, or that's the element that everyone should understand, because the last thing you want to see is the winter months come up and the few people that actually truly try to drive their car all year round because of the hybrid function and the all-wheel drive actually find out the car doesn't work quite as they think it would have. Now, just to kind of finish this up before I get up out of here, is the E-Ray still will put down amazing performance. You still will have the all-wheel capabilities of it, the all-wheel drive capabilities. You will still be able to drive the car, as they say, in the snow, the wintertime, do donuts, all the things that the Corvette press release with the Corvette E-Ray have actually displayed. You should have no problem doing. It's just in the cold weather you can't start it in stealth mode. I feel like this is something that was known by GM up front, and that's why it's actually also in the handbook. And a long-term decision was made based off this information, because there are more than one type of way to utilize a battery, and there is more than one type of way to utilize the hybrid function. And GM chose this way for a reason. Now, for most of us, this isn't even a deal breaker, because many people are going to park these cars in the wintertime. They're going to store them until the next season comes up. So when you think about it that way, why would you care? For the vast majority of us who do drive our cars all year round, and that's probably less than 1% of the Corvette ownership population, but to me, I drive my car now with no, and I say that again, with no electric functions or capabilities. It's actually 36 degrees out here today, and even with all that being said, I have no problem driving my Corvette right now. So why would I care if I own the E-Ray that the battery assist is not kicking in when I first started up? So like I said before, just wanted to quickly touch bases on this topic because it was brought to my attention, And I don't think it's a deal breaker for 90% of the Corvette community. But if it's a deal breaker for you, let me know in the comments below, and why all of a sudden not being able to start your car in stealth mode has really become a deterring factor for you personally. But as always, ICNV Drive Edition, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the ICNV Drive Edition community. Again, this is an interactive community, which means that if you reach out to me on any one of my social media platforms or in the comments below, I would do my best to respond. And if the topic is good enough, or should I say if the topic is interesting, I may make a video on it. But as always, chase your dreams, build your visions. Remember, it is okay to be unique. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will see you in these streets. And for all my Corvette lovers and veterans, to the next video. Peace.